Welcome to Norway, land of towering fjords, midnight sun, and Viking legends. But in 2025, what does this Nordic wonderland truly offer travelers? Norway remains a place where nature defines life, sharp mountains carved by glaciers, villages clinging to rocky shores, and the air scented with pine and sea salt. It is a country where distances are vast and landscapes feel untouched, preserving a purity that is increasingly rare in Europe.
Norway stretches far beyond Oslo and Bergen, reaching into the Arctic Circle. This journey takes us from the Lofoten Islands up to Tromsø, into landscapes where mountains plunge into icy seas and the sun never sets in summer. Roads curve along dramatic coastlines, ferries glide across deep blue fjords, and small fishing villages nestle among steep cliffs, creating a sense of endless exploration.
Crossing into the Arctic Circle is more than a line on a map. Suddenly, days last 24 hours, wildlife changes, and even people's rhythms adapt to the endless daylight. The land opens into tundra dotted with birch and lichen, reindeer roam near the roads, and the pale light gives everything a surreal glow. In these latitudes, time seems to dissolve, leaving only nature and quiet movement.
Norway feels different from anywhere else in Europe, quiet, pristine, deeply respectful of nature. Villages are small, towns are clean and orderly, and nature dominates every view. There is an unspoken understanding that the wilderness comes first and human life adjusts around it. This balance creates a feeling of peace, as if the country itself breathes slowly and calmly with its landscapes.
Our first stop is Lofoten, a chain of islands with razor-sharp peaks rising straight from the sea. Fishing villages like Rain and Henningsvær feel timeless, painted in bright reds and yellows against gray skies. Rorbjorg cabins stand on stilts over clear waters where codfish hang to dry, and boats rest in tiny harbors protected from Arctic winds. These islands are a masterpiece of rugged beauty, sculpted by glaciers and stormy seas over millennia.
Beyond tourism, Lofoten is home to cod fishermen, Arctic surfers, and artists drawn by the dramatic light. Galleries hide in old boathouses filled with paintings of fjords and stormy seas, while fishermen mend nets on wooden docks as gulls circle overhead. Life here follows the rhythm of tides and seasons, and even cafes and goose houses feel like they belong to the landscape rather than standing apart from it.
Yes, people surf here in icy waters under snow-capped peaks. Unstad Beach is famous among cold water surfers worldwide. Surfers pull on thick neoprene suits and wax their boards in cabins heated by wood stoves, before running barefoot over snow-dusted sand into powerful Arctic waves. Despite the harshness, the atmosphere is welcoming and calm, built on respect for the sea's power.
In summer, the sun never sets. Midnight becomes golden hour, and you can hike, kayak, or simply sit by the fjord at 2 a.m. under a blazing orange sky. The endless daylight creates a gentle energy, as if the world is paused in perpetual evening light. Locals spend these hours fishing, walking, or gathered by beach bonfires that flicker against the bright horizon.
Norway's coasts teem with life. Orcas hunt herring in fjords each winter. Sea eagles glide overhead with wingspans wider than a man is tall, and along rocky shores, seals rest on sun-warmed stones. Inland forests hide moose that emerge at dusk, and reindeer graze along mountain roads, their antlers silhouetted against the northern sky.
Meet the Sami, reindeer herders and custodians of Arctic culture. Their traditional homes, known as lavu, dot the tundra, and their brightly colored gakti clothing carries patterns passed down through generations. Joik singing carries deep ancestral stories, and their connection to the land is evident in everything from their language to the quiet dignity with which they herd reindeer across snowy plains.
Further north lies Tromsø, the gateway to the Arctic. Here, cozy cafes and modern glass buildings stand beside wooden houses painted red and ochre, overlooking snowy harbors. In winter, the city becomes a base for northern lights chases, husky sled rides, and Arctic science expeditions. Despite its polar latitude, Tromsø feels lively, filled with university students, Sami craft markets, and a warm social scene centered around coffee shops and music venues.
In winter, Norway's sky explodes with color. The Aurora dances silently above fjords and forests, twisting in green, pink, and violet ribbons across the cold darkness. Often, locals drive away from town lights to sit by frozen lakes, wrapped in reindeer hides, watching the northern lights flicker and shift. Seeing the aurora here isn't just a tourist activity, it's part of life in the Arctic months, a reminder of nature's silent majesty.
While Fjord is iconic, Norway's fjordland is vast and varied. Places like Hardangerfjord blossom in spring with orchards of pink and white apple flowers lining steep cliffs. Fjord, further north, offers dramatic peaks for ski touring and untouched villages where life still revolves around fishing and small farms. Traveling these fjords reveals hidden waterfalls, narrow tunnels carved through mountains, and quiet harbors untouched by mass tourism.
Norwegian cuisine is simple but rooted in survival and tradition. Stockfish dried in coastal winds, smoked salmon fresh from icy rivers, and creamy fish soups warming cold evenings. In the north, reindeer stew with potatoes and lingonberry jam is a staple, reflecting Sami heritage. Cloudberries, golden and tart, are harvested from mountain bogs and served with cream for dessert, creating flavors as pure as the landscapes they come from.
Norway remains one of the world's most expensive countries. Simple meals can cost as much as fine dining elsewhere, and hotels reflect high living standards. Yet, public services are excellent: clean heated buses, efficient ferries, and helpful locals fluent in English. Traveling here requires planning and budgeting, but the reward is comfort, safety, and the chance to witness landscapes few others will ever see in person.
The Atlantic Road is often called the world's most beautiful drive. Stretching over small islands connected by dramatic bridges, it curves like a ribbon between Molde and Kristiansund. Waves crash below and storms sweep across in seconds, making every crossing feel like an adventure through wind and sea spray. This road shows how Norwegian engineering respects and adapts to nature's force.
Far north, almost at the top of the world, lies Svalbard. This Arctic archipelago is home to polar bears, glaciers, and the world's northernmost town, Longyearbyen. Here, snowmobiles outnumber cars, winter darkness lasts for months. Visiting Svalbard feels like stepping into another planet, silent, fast, and ruled by ice, where human life is just a guest of the cold and stars.
Norway is a tapestry of extremes, from vast blue glaciers like Folgefonna and Jostedalsbreen to sunlit valleys carved by rivers and time. Waterfalls plunge from high cliffs, glacial lakes shine like turquoise glass, and moss-covered forests breathe with silence. Each region has its rhythm, some shaped by snow, others by soft grass and ancient rock. You don't just see the landscapes here, you feel their scale in your chest.
More than any single place, what Norway offers is a state of mind. It's a country that invites stillness, where you don't chase things but let the land unfold before you. The real value of this journey isn't measured in activities or highlights, but in the memories etched by fjords at dusk, the silence above a glacier, or the sun brushing the sea at midnight. These are moments that stay long after you've
Thanks for joining DSV Travel Trip on this journey through Norway's untamed north and unforgettable corners. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe, like, and share your favorite part of Norway, or where you'd go first. Until next time, keep traveling deeper. Because the wildest places often whisper the loudest stories, and Norway is still full of them.